Hello everyone, myself Akshita C. Today I am going to explain about joint probability distribution. Introduction. Given two random variables that are defined on the same probability space, the joint probability distribution is a corresponding probability distribution on all possible pairs of outputs. The joint distribution just as well can be considered as for any given number of random variables. The joint distribution encodes the marginal distribution such as the distribution of each of the individual random variables. It also encodes the conditional probability distribution which deal with how the outputs of the random variables are distributed when the given information on the output other random variables. Joint probability meaning if a sample space consists of two events A and B which are not mutually exclusive, then the probability of these events occurring jointly or simultaneously is called joint probability. A joint probability in probability theory refers to the probability that two events will both occur. In other words, joint probability is like likelihood of two events occurring together. Joint probability example. Many joint probability examples comes in the form of dice throwing scenarios. The first two joint probability examples are focused on the rolling of dice. Dice are commonly used to illustrate joint probability because they are rolled simultaneously and the outcome of which is independent from the other. Why we need joint probability? To determine whether two events are independent or dependent, it is important to ask whether the outcome of one event would have an impact on the outcome of the other event. If the outcome of one event does not affect the outcome of the other event, then the two events are independent. Statistics and analysts use joint probability as a tool when two or more observable events can occur simultaneously. How to calculate joint probability of independent events? To the joint probability of independent events, we must first calculate the probability of each event individually. After calculating the individual probabilities, multiply the independent event probabilities together to get the joint probability. Calculation of joint probability distribution. If x and y are two discrete random variables, we define joint probability function of x and y by p of x is equal to small x, capital Y is equal to small y is equal to f of x, y, where f of x, y satisfies the condition where f of x, y is always greater than or equal to 0 and x into summation of y and summation of f of x, y is always equal to 1. F is also referred to as a joint probability density function of x and y in the respective order. The set of values of this function f of xi, yi is equal to jij for I is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on m and j is equal to 1, 2 and so on n is called joint probability distribution of x and y. These values are presented in the form of tables called as joint probability table shown below.